it's a period where we thought this level of physicality picked up a little bit. It's a very chippy first period. And now we get set for a second period. We'll see if the pace and the intensity can continue as the opening draw of the second period cleanly won back by Manitoba, who Manitoba was really struggling to get 5 players on the floor to start that draw. Very rushed and unsettled start to the period for him. Shot goes straight into the turf and out of play.
Despite that shot there from Parker Delarond, I'd like to see a little more of that. I'd like to see them go inside to him, let him dominate, because he's got a sizable advantage over a lot of these smaller defenders for New Brunswick inside.
15 on the shot clock here for New Brunswick. Lone goal in that period, by the way, was Nathan Watson, the lone assist to Ryan Johnson. And that's where we sit, 1-0 for Team New Brunswick if you're just joining us. Johnson takes the stick up high. The officials let him play on. And that shot well late. And Manitoba will take the ball over. So fresh 30 for Delarond and Manitoba. Outside shot, McNulty's there. He's been sharp all game long for New Brunswick between the cage. Delarond, Parker, underhand shot right on the crease, and New Brunswick knew it right away. They stepped back in. Good pressure from Manitoba's offense. Once they lose the ball, they've been really good at pressuring both Saskatchewan earlier and now New Brunswick into stepping back in. Up top it comes to the far side. Two-man game. Delarond wants that ball back, but he was just a little bit outside on that pick and roll game. He likes to shoot. There's a shot that goes wide. Shuffle pass. Possession though awarded right back to Manitoba. And we'll see, as we mentioned, their outside shot selection has not been great so far.
Well, they've gone in twice already there to big Parker Delarond.
Outside shot, easily turned aside by McNulty, who is laser focused right on the crease. But he is called for stepping in that blue paint is Andy Angus of Manitoba. Here's Lee. 20 on the shot clock. He took a stick right in the abdomen area. It was 19 for New Brunswick of James Keenan. We'll keep an eye on him. He is hunched over going to the bench. Goes to see the medical staff immediately. Right on the doorstep now. Stepped in the crease, and he'll have to turn the ball over. Manitoba trying to break out of their own end here and look for that first goal that will even this game up at 1. Delarond over to the lefties. To the crease. Unable to get a shot off was Chablock.
Interesting play there by Ty Woods. He had the whole lane on the right side to go in and take the shot, but he elected to pass instead. So the unselfish play might not have been the best one there in that case.
Manitoba once again doing a phenomenal job of really controlling the offense and the ball possession up to the second period. But again, they run into a hot goalie, Saskatchewan. It was the same story. And now look out behind the net, as tied up was Parker Delarond. And I believe for New Brunswick, it was Noah Frenette. Once again, New Brunswick unable to get any offense. Breakaway back the other way, Manitoba. 5-hole, big save from the netminder, Carter McNulty.
McDonnell tried to go 5-hole there, and McNulty was looking around, looking left, looking right, and then looked between his legs, and the ball was sitting right underneath his stick, so a lucky save there.
Johnson having a couple words on the far side, spins away from his man though. Picked off once again. Relentless pressure. Now behind the play, look out, as this game is picking up a notch. Two teams that don't really like each other, but really don't have much history against each other.
Johnson and McDonnell getting into their own little game on this end of the floor, and meanwhile the ball's on the other end.
Here's Andy Angus. That's not going to be allowed, as that's a clear moving pick. As you could tell the frustration a little bit settling in from the captain of Alex Delarond. Once again, New Brunswick having zero luck getting inside on this Manitoba defense. some of the best defense we've seen really in this tournament. Time and time again, Manitoba is killing their shot clocks just a few seconds in. To the crease for Delaron. He's inside though and unable to get a shot off.
Alex Delaron getting crafty there, finding the backdoor feed, but just unable to finish the quick stick.
20 on the shot clock. First time we've seen New Brunswick really this period get deep in the Manitoba end. It's been turnover after turnover by this relentless defensive pressure. Wherever the ball is, Manitoba seems to be all over it. Outside shot. That couldn't have hit the M anymore square. Big save. And that'll move the ball up. Here's Manitoba's number 67 of Dustin Morden. Now to Chablock. Parker Delaron, the big man, causing some havoc in the middle. That goes off a leg. And it'll go all the way back, controlled by Morden. Morden looks up. He's got 5 on the shot clock. Way outside shot, right off the toe. And that, hey, whatever gets you the reset and possession back, Morden did just that. Fresh 30 for Manitoba. Chablock tried to thread the needle to Harmachuk, who was right on the crease. He's got that long flowing hair, Harmachuk. Outside shot, McNulty square to the shooter once again. Loose ball battle right behind the cage. As this is a kind of a rough and tough loose ball battle. Who's going to come up with it? Manitoba does. And they'll get a full change. Outside shot. Not working at all for Manitoba. As now it's a break the other way. Here's Keenan. Big save, but unfortunately stepped in the crease. So the transition game going back and forth both sides. Now Delaron, dancing McNulty's got him once again.
Andrew Isabel with a good save on one end, back the other way. Carter McNulty, so both goalies showing their best of the best.
Well, I hope you took the under, as this is a low-scoring affair. Kind of a cross-check pass to himself. Ball still on the turf. Beautiful heads-up play by Carr. To the bench side. That goes off the stick of Manitoba's defenseman number 8, Cole Kennedy. Manitoba pushing this floor. For a team who already played a game, I figured it'd be the other way around in New Brunswick trying to push the floor. But Manitoba not letting up at all, even though can't find a goal.
Manitoba probably a little upset they didn't come away with that victory in game 1 to start the tournament off, but they're trying to do something here to pull back into this one as they still trail 1-0, but looking for that goal. They've had a lot of momentum in terms of their transition so far, but unable to find the back of the net.
8 on the shot clock. They go to the righties for New Brunswick. Dips his shoulder, tried to just tuck inside, was Drew Mason. But he had his stick knocked out of his hands, and he'll go to the bench. And now Manitoba takes back over. Manitoba with some speed. Dishes off to the captain of Alex Delaron. Delaron to the crease. Good defensive stick. Right on top. No! McNulty has the horseshoe tonight. They finally break twine, but it's called in the crease.
Yeah, really good luck there for Carter McNulty and Team New Brunswick. They beat him, but they got bailed out by that blue turf.
Shots on goal, 23 to 14 in favor of the boys from Manitoba. But it is a 1-0 New Brunswick lead. Back the other way. On the far side, here's Morden. Morden taking his time for Manitoba. That's a pretty bad pass. Back to the bench side. It'll be picked up by New Brunswick, as Morden will want that pass back. Now Keenan. Keenan eyed the streaking in number 24 of Adam Brooks, but elected to hold on to the ball. Pick and roll. Johnson, what a save. Beautiful save, sliding to his right was the netminder of Izzy, Andrew Isby. And Manitoba back up the floor. Here's Kennedy. He goes for a change, and they move the ball to the lefties to start the offensive set. Into the middle, the shot high and wide. Delaron racing after it for Manitoba. Williams all over him for New Brunswick. Picked up by Brooks. Brooks, it's a one-on-one to the cage. Steps right on top of the crease, doesn't go in. The pass to the bench side. Twist shot, easily stopped, but it's right in front of him. Doesn't know where the ball is. Back the other way now. No one wants to take the foot off the gas here in a 1-0 tight affair. Huge save as Delaron gets pushed from behind. He wanted the call. He's slow to get up. And he still is having word with an official. But the frustration level, Matt, has to be setting in for Manitoba.
Yeah, you certainly like the transition play from both teams here, but you just have to wonder if you're Manitoba, what more do I have to do? I'm getting the chances. I'm taking the cross-crease passes. I'm taking the shots from the top of the perimeter, but nothing seems to get by McNulty.
These are those type of games where, you know, you could try to change anything up, and that's what Manitoba has done. However, it's the game of lacrosse. Goals can happen in seconds, so you can never say never, as all it takes is one shot, and they're back in this game at 1. It is a 1-0 New Brunswick lead if you're just joining us. That goal came way back in the first period, thanks to number 2 for New Brunswick of Nathan Watson. Breakaway goal off a pass from Johnson. And that's where we sit. Loose ball, that's going to be a battle picked up though by Manitoba. Stretch pass. Once again, Manitoba was well behind the offense for New Brunswick. Here's Klepitz. Seth Klepitz, number 18, more of a D guy, sending it across the floor. He goes for a change, and now Manitoba caught in a late change, but Brooks will slow things down to allow a full change for New Brunswick. Across the floor to the bench side, comes across the top, shot on the run. Beautiful stop by the sliding Isby, and he's able to control for Manitoba.
One of the better chances there for Manitoba. Drew Mason, uncontested, able to weave his way through that Manitoba defense, just unable to beat Isby.
So our next goal or penalty will bring us to our media timeout, and maybe that's what this game needs. What a stop, McNulty, once again. You can't beat this guy tonight. Shot after shot, rebound after rebound. McNulty making himself look like Marty Brodeur for the Devils back when they were winning cup after cup.
Well, Manitoba figuring they can't beat McNulty to the left, to the right, underneath, so they got to go over top of him, and Harmchuk's shot just sails over top of the net. But that might be the new strategy now for Manitoba. You can't go through him either.
Looking like Bob Watson in his heyday with the Toronto Rock. 25 shots, no goals for Manitoba. There's a shot. That's going to ring off the goal post. So he gets lucky as he was actually beat on that outside bouncer. Manitoba, give him credit. We talked about outside shots weren't working, but you can never just give up on what you do best, and they were able to find a lot of good looks here in the second period. The lefties swinging over to the righties. Here's Alex Delaron. Two-man game. The roll wasn't there to the middle. Back to Alex Delaron, who couldn't grab that pass. Trying to find who's got a little bit of gas left in this tank. And Carr will beat Delaron, who clearly looks he's tired, but now he's caught on defense. 20 on the shot clock. And if you ever wonder, try playing defense for 30 seconds, then go play offense, and then run all the way back. It's a lot of stamina to be able to keep up and not look out of place, and Delaron clearly looks like he needs a breather.
And that's why you and I are up here, my friend.
That's why I was the goalie. Definitely the goalie, no running. Shot gets blocked. And once again, this defense for Manitoba been stuck on the floor a while now. Loose ball, picked up by the assistant captain for Manitoba. Kennedy, back pedals. It's a 2-on-1 on the crease. What a stop by McNulty once again. And Kennedy gets sent flying in midair. It'll be a penalty coming against Team New Brunswick. And that will also bring us to our media timeout, a illegal cross-check call, which sends Manitoba to the power play.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between transition and then sloppy transition play, and it seems like the push of pace, there's so much transition so far that, like you said, these players, they need a break. They're gassed. They're running up and down the 200-foot floor, and it's getting to them. And New Brunswick there got caught giving up a pretty good chance there to Manitoba on the 2-on-1, but luckily Carter McNulty still does what he does best, getting the save there.
Well, he's wide open on the doorstep, and watch Kennedy, number 8. Here comes the penalty. Looking at the ball, defensively has no chance to protect himself, and a good call by the officials coming in to call an illegal cross-check. And Kennedy, who's still down on the turf, probably had the wind knocked out of him pretty good as he took that cross-check right in the rib area.
Yeah, going for that ball. Obviously, his arms were up in the air. It's almost like he was signaling a touchdown, and that opens up a little more space for that New Brunswick defender to hit him. So I concur on that diagnosis of the wind getting knocked out of him, as he's going to get a nice hand here, walking off the floor under his own strength.
.5:39 left to go here in period 2. And maybe, Matt, this is what Manitoba needed, a little power play, something, a change in the tide, as they put up 27 shots. And boys, it felt like they have really pushed this floor in the second period. Still, no goals to show for it.
So we saw the power play go to work in that Sask game earlier today, and it was both of the brothers in the Delaronds. So we'll see if Alex and Parker can connect here to try to get the power play going and tie this one up.
Ty Woods, he's up top. The ball now with Andy Angus on the crease. Delaron, underhand shot doesn't go. And you almost start to wonder at what point the Delarons, shift from the underhand shot to the overhand to come down at the netminder McNulty. They're so tall, try to throw it over top of him.
Yeah, for Parker, that could very much be the case. I mean, he gets in there in that crease area and tries to get his hands down low so he can't get hit because he's a tall guy. He opens up a lot of space for him to get checked. But instead, maybe bringing it low there, trying something else would be the better option like he did on that last play.
Minor possession called, awarded back to New Brunswick as they try to kill off another minute of the minor penalty against Seth Sinding. Sinding in the box for the illegal cross-check. Not many penalties in this game. Power play goes to work for Manitoba, but first they'll have to play some defense as a good rag team opportunity was taken advantage of by New Brunswick, and they kill 30 off the penalty. Manitoba breaks up on the far side, away from the benches. Delaron trying to get something going as they pass it off to his brother. Woods to Alex Delaron, to the crease, Angus. Backpedals away. Across, Alex to Parker, down low to the far side. Picked off by the Aaron Stick, just happened to be up in the right position. McAllister in the shot. Tried to just throw that actually to the bench side crease spot. Izzy trying to come out to set the pick, missed. Even 5-on-5. Manitoba unable to cash in on the power play, as there's only 3 and change left here in the middle frame. Outside shot gets blocked. Picked up off the turf. Parker Delaron has it. He's got a lot of time now. 7 still on the shot clock. To the crease. What a save, McNulty. That ball had eyes wide open on the far crease, and he somehow shuffles to make the save.
Yeah, that was a disappointing power play there for Team Manitoba, but McNulty didn't really get tested in that 2-minute period. And there he gets arguably one of the biggest tests of the night so far. But he's able to come up big, make the save.
12 on the shot clock for Team New Brunswick, as they still nourish that 1-goal lead. Outside shot, that goes high and wide. Loose ball battle. It'll be picked up. Possession will be awarded, as they were going to let that play out on the long whistle to allow the breakaway, but Manitoba unable to corral that loose ball. So Delaron comes. The clap starting to get louder and louder for Team New Brunswick here to hold off the surging boys from Toba. Delaron the shot. That goes wide, almost off the official of Tristan Pelletier. Angus, flip pass down low. Here's an outside shot right at New Brunswick goaltender's logo, and he makes the save.
Yeah, ever since that power play, Manitoba not looking so hot right now. Having to settle for some far shots just to beat the shot clock. Not what you want when you're down a goal.
Well, you see low-scoring games like this, but you don't often see them 1-0. And if I take you back to 1969, Nova Scotia was a part of a high-scoring game where they dropped the decision 35-3, and Manitoba finally cracks the case of the netminder Carter McNulty. It took nearly 40 minutes of play, but they finally get a breakaway past them to even the game at 1.
Yeah, Jack Darrett able to go end-to-end in a slower transition kind of play. Defender able to scoop that one home to tie it up at 1 here with just a minute to go in the second period. Barrett, part of some box lacrosse royalty. His grandfather, Brian, was a Western Canadian junior box champion in '55. He's in the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame with who other than Ed the Eagle Belfour. Familiar face there. Familiar name.
Now there's a name. Well, Darrett getting a lot of love on the bench. The boys were all fired up around him. The 31st shot is what it took to make it a 1-1 game. So that's where we are now, back to even, 1-1. Manitoba finally cracked the case. They go up top, McNulty's there. Possession awarded to New Brunswick. 20 seconds left on the game clock here. It'll be last chance situation now for New Brunswick here in the second period. Here's Fournette. Wide open. The goal scorer of number 2 for New Brunswick of Nathan Watson. That was picked up by Frazier. Frazier, only a couple seconds left. That shot is well wide, and Matt, it's 1-1 at the end of 2 periods. We didn't know if Manitoba was going to be able to get on the scoreboard. They finally do, and that's got to bring the hopes up for a better third period.
Manitoba definitely coming to life there with that Derek goal in the last couple of minutes of the second, and more importantly, the 2 chances they had following that goal. Ty Woods and then Parker Delarond both went over the top. Delarond hitting the bar, Woods just missing the net. But like you said earlier, maybe it's time to go over top rather than trying to beat McNulty on side to side, because like Izzy on this end of the floor, both the New Brunswick and Manitoba goalies and McNulty have been very impressive.
Well, grab some popcorn, grab a drink.